run down the top 10 impact stats from 2012. Longhorn Extra starts right now. Yeah, he's a different cat. The other thing, you have to drag Oregon down into the mud. If you can drag them down, slow them down, and then you can make a game out of it. If you let them get away with it early, it's going to get tough for you because once they get momentum, once they get it going downhill, they are tough to stop. Well, you have so much time to put stuff in, to install different plays and different formations, to get more offensive linemen on the field, to be more like that Stanford game plan. You have a whole lot of time to get that stuff in. So, yeah, you want to go out, you want to give your best effort going out.
But any chance maybe that for Texas too much pressure to listen, Matt?
No, I don't think it's too much pressure at all because this is not pressure about being scared. This is pressure about doing something great. This is pressure about wanting to honor a man that, like David, sat on your couch and recruited you. This is all great stuff. This is not bad pressure. This is good stuff.
And that's the bottom line.
I think it's pretty simple. It's like the old book, Semi-Pro, what could have happened did. Everything lined up for them perfectly. And Major Applewhite said it right in the postgame. It was 0-0 with 30 minutes left in the game. And we didn't get it done. In the end, those are the things that stick with you for the rest of your life. Obviously, you move on. It may help you do better later on in life, knowing that feeling you had that day. But it will always be there that you had a shot and you missed it. It's about the reps because he shows that he's an inexperienced running back as well and not used to the position. He's not very patient. He doesn't set up his blocks. He's almost full speed the whole time, and that comes with reps. It comes with watching film with his running back coach on how to set up blocks and how to play the position of running back. You can tell he's inexperienced.
What's going on with West Virginia? Do we know what this team is right now?
Yeah, the West Virginia team struggles. Look, they're 3-0 at home. They play well at home. They have a loud stadium. They have a rabid fan base, so that's cool. But their defense, they fired the whole defensive staff last year, brought in a new one, and they still gave up 864 yards and over 70 points to Baylor. So their defense, woeful, and they're still having quarterback issues. They thought Clint Trickett,
maybe the guy
transferring in from Florida State, would be the guy, but he got pulled in the last game. So they still don't know who they are as a team. Texas still has the advantage, even on the road in Morgantown.
Who wins and why?
Well, that's where I think the happy run might come off the tracks. I would probably pick right now, until I see more consistency, I would probably pick Baylor to win this game. Baylor is an offensive juggernaut. The defense has played better. Look, we all know about Phil Bennett from his time at Kansas State as the defensive coordinator. We know he can put together a good defense. They haven't had the personnel. They haven't played well, but they have speed. They're playing better on defense. But what it comes down to is you have to be able to outscore that offense. And I get scared if you're going to ask this offense right now that's just starting to find themselves to outscore an offense like Baylor.
How big of a difference has Greg Robinson made, in your opinion?
I think he's made a huge difference because, one, he brings a confidence to the group, and they can see on paper what he did in 2004, the players he's coached, and he gives them a simple scheme and play this scheme hard. Do this. If you do this every time, he's infusing a confidence in them that allows them to find success. They're rallying to the ball more. They're playing harder. They're playing with greater effort. It's amazing to think that 12 times a year out of 365 days, you can't find effort.
I know.
But they weren't able to find it sometimes.
Who do you have in this matchup?
Look, a lot of times I like to default to the center because they are the guys, the brains of the offensive line. But I'm still going with Donald Hawkins here.
This is a Texas blowout, Sean.
Look at it.
Come on,
you're wearing a purple tie.
I know.
No,
that's only because the woman in the office said it popped, all right? That's the only reason.
You got to go with what pops. Look, Donald Hawkins has had a great year, and I'll tell you this, he's played better in the conference play than he even played in the preseason play. So I'm looking at him as a guy that might get the mentions for all Big 12 performance. You see him highlighted right here. He's moving guys in and out. He's cutting at the right time. He's drive blocking. He got to the second level there and popped Malcolm Brown for a big run. And they're definitely the Rodney Dangerfield of college football right now. They get no respect anywhere.
But sometimes it's playing with your own mind, is it not?
Yeah, because sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And you start to think that it's about me, that I'm just going to make sure I make the plays. I'm going to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do. But in the end, you want to be able to go out of the University of Texas when you get that degree and finish school and say that we accomplished this academically, but we accomplished this athletically. And this is one of the things that they needed to have as a feather in their cap, and they made it happen.
Yeah, the senior
and they use that going forward.
They did, excuse me. But you also got to be secure and safe.
Yeah, you know, David talked about a team that takes some risk, and a team that's kind of backed into the corner has to take those risks. And you want a guy back there on punt return. Look, that's what they do. Though not everybody can do punt returns. A lot of people want to get back there and start waving the fair catch signal before the ball's even snapped. You want a guy back there that's going to take some risks because the rule is if you make the first guy miss, you got a shot.
Sean, they are getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, if you look at Cedric Reed here and see what he's doing, look, he's going down the line. He's setting the edge. He's going to make sure he turns that play back in and make sure he completes the tackle that way. He plays his position perfectly right here. Look at this. He's going to stand his man up. Okay. He's going to make sure you get a hand on him, set that edge so he has to go inside. Can't let him get outside of you. And then you look at Jackson Jeffcoat here and the play he can make because he's getting stronger now so he can use his hands, and then he comes back, collapses the pocket, and makes the sack, and that's exactly the play you want to make.
But Sean, he's been playing a heck of a lot better.
He has. He's been playing really well, and the other thing that I think he's done really well over last year especially, he's not getting caught up in the wash. He's getting his depth. He doesn't make that play if he doesn't get his depth and able to get his hand up there. And again, we see him here. He takes his read step, and then he moves down the line to make sure he's in position to make a play. He's not getting caught up in the middle. He's not allowing guys to get to him on the second level, and he's able to make plays. Right here, based in the middle, now he can read, he can react to what's going on, make sure he gets his depth, and he's right there for a pick on a horrible throw by the TCU quarterback, and now he makes a big play for the defense.
What was the problem, Sean?
He already made the statement. He just said desire. This is what my old coach would call some want to. I think that's what it all comes down to. You have to have a lot of want to. You have to have a lot of desire. You got to play with passion. You got to play team football. Everybody doing their job. So collectively, you do things the right way.
What does it say about the state of the program right now?
You build a trend one way. You have to build out of it the other way. So you got to win some games you're not expected to win. It's pretty much that simple. I don't know if it says a whole lot about the program as much as it shows where the team is right now and their development that needs to grow. Now, this is not a group that can go in next year and say they're a young group again, so they don't have that excuse, they don't have that reason because it was legitimate in a lot of ways, but they have to make some plays and win some games they're not supposed to. Okay, I'm saying this. I'm going to go with Treat here. I almost want to go Flavor Flav and say don't believe the hype. They're not the San Francisco 49ers. They're not Alabama, but they're better. Let's be honest. They're better.
Not same old Tech.
And no, it's not the same old Tech. They're better. Their front four is a lot better than they've ever had, especially on the inside with the tackles. They're a lot better than they've ever been. So I don't want to say they're not that they're just not going to show up and they're going to be that team that give up a lot of points. But they are they're a pretty good defense, and they're going to play better than they have all year. They hate Texas.
Yeah.
They will play at the top end of their game. You know what? I'm going real deal. Again, I'm agreeing with the mod, and I lived out in West Texas for a long time, and there will be people from Floydada and Nocona and Muleshoe, Plainview. They will be all over Jones AT&T Stadium. They'll make a lot of noise. They don't like the University of Texas. They love their bands. They love their stallion, and it'll be a tough place to play. It's a great environment to watch a game and to be at a game.
Sean, what is the reaction in Austin to this hire?
I think most people are really excited about it now. I think a lot of people thought they needed a splash name. They needed an Urban Meyer or a Nick Saban, but in the end, back in 1997, the University of Texas hired a football coach from a basketball university in Mack Brown from the University of North Carolina. I think they look at Charlie Strong. They see discipline. They see success. They see recruiting, and they see the ability to win and win on a high level, and that's what people at the University of Texas want.
What the coach is trying to get a collective group to do going forward?
Well, here's the fresh start, and they have to figure out a way to get everybody pulling in the same direction. There's really no need for people to be on campus. You have to evaluate people. You have to evaluate mindsets, know how hard they work and what they're willing to work on. And then you can build a cohesive team with everybody pulling in the same direction. If you don't have everybody pulling in that same direction, you end up with a disjointed team that really doesn't like each other very much.
So, Sean, we got the news on Monday that Jalen Bond has elected to transfer and leave Texas. What have you heard? Why is he leaving?
Well, I think at some point you start to look at what the possibilities are for your playing time, compare those to the dreams that you might have for yourself. And when you have younger guys playing in front of you, some people make a decision to get closer to home, find a different place that'll give them a different opportunity to help them show their skills.
A chance to talk to a guy that I've had the pleasure of losing to at the Penn Relay Carnival in 1994, Carl Lewis. Obviously, you're here in a work capacity with the University of Houston, but it's great to have you in a we think a track capital in Austin, Texas.
Well, that's great. And I had great times here at the NCAA. I was a champion here in Texas relays and different events. So it's great for me to be back as well with the University of Houston.
You know, when I started this race for Abilene Christian back in 1994, we ran a really good time. I started in these kind of blocks, started the 200, and really I thought I was good because I ran 20 point whatever. But what it came down to, I was anchored by a guy named Joseph Tangale, who was a 144 800-meter runner. And in most ways, the sprints is great for positioning, but it'll all come down to that distance runner, that 800-meter runner that'll get you the win or the loss. Jonathan, now this is a PR for you. I know you were a little bit mad and frustrated with the wind right there, but you got to feel good about the race.
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels great to know all that, all the hard work and detail and rep after reps paying off.
Now talk about the resolve you showed over the last 3 or 4 hurdles where everybody was in the mix and you stayed with it to make sure you pulled out the victory.
I've always personally loved the end of the race because that's when I become the most aggressive and I stay on the hurdles the most at that point and showed in the race.
Well, you were aggressive today and it worked out for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, we are delighted to have Sean Adams with us, who knows all about this event, having been a past champion in relays in his days at Abilene Christian. Sean?
Yeah, I keep looking at this cones right now as the runners break towards lane 1, and I keep seeing everybody break over really fast, maybe taking 20 meters to get over to lane 1. If I was on the outside lane, I always waited. I never hit lane 1 till I almost got to the 3rd turn because I'm going to try to get that straight line and maybe save myself 3 or 4 feet. So there's some technical pieces that need to be coached up in this race.